Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you guys all the books that I've ever rated 5 stars. Now, it's not just this year, it's any book that I've ever recall giving like full 5 stars. So this could be like from when I was a kid to like now. So you're gonna see like some random books here and there, but most of these are books that I have read this year. So I am going to be showing you guys all the books that I have rated 5 stars that I think are 5 stars. Again, this is all just a matter of opinion. A lot of you can disagree with me, a lot of you can agree with me. So let's just get into it. Okay, so starting off with a classic, I feel like I just had to include this book because it's honestly one of my favorite books, and that is Little Women. This is like, I feel like it's such a classic book. Even if you haven't read this book, you'll probably know about this book. So, and it's also a movie. So if you're not into reading books, you can even just watch the movie if you want. I watched the movie after I read this and I honestly just love it so much. So this is one of the first books I gave 5 stars. Another one from my childhood is probably one of my favorite books. It's like one of the earliest reads I could like remember. I don't remember how old I was when this came out. I think I was like 10 or 11, but The Fault in Our Stars. I feel like this is like such like an essential, like such a core memory for a lot of us, especially when that movie came out. I can see all of the Tumblr posts that were about this book, or like even the clouds, the okay thing. And this book also has just so much nostalgia for me, so this is definitely a favorite of mine. I think I got this from the airport. I think I bought this in the airport. I don't know if it was the summer that it came out or something like that, but I remember I bought this in the airport and I read the whole thing on the plane and I was so happy with it. So this is definitely another 5 stars, not just for honestly book. I still love this movie, but also nostalgia and memories. I just love this book so much. Another book I gave 5 stars is actually a poem book. It's a poetry book. It's the poetry of Emily Dickinson, and honestly I love reading Emily Dickinson's poems. It's one of my favorites. A picture just fell out of the book. It's a picture of my dad from like the 80s in the snow. I don't know why this picture is in my book. What's it doing here? That's weird, but yeah, this a picture of my dad. But yeah, I love this poetry book so much. So like you can see, I annotate a lot in this book. Here, I love reading the love poems more, like the most, because I just feel like those are my favorites and like I annotate them a lot. And what's nice about this book is that it's also, so there's poems, they come in different series. So I think it's a series of 3 or 4. So it's 3 series, and then there's the single hound. And they're all kind of categorized in like life, love, nature, and time and eternity, which are the subjects that Emily Dickinson writes about the most. Some of them are titled, some of them aren't, and I just love this one so much. I remember I bought this with a friend. I don't remember how long ago it was. I generally don't, but I also love the cover, and you can see that it has like quotes from the, like in here there's like engraved, so it's like all words from her poems, and even like in the back it also has something from her poems. So I just love this book so much. So this is another 5 stars for me. So late last year, at the end of last year, my friend surprised me with this book, and it's honestly one of the books that got me back into reading. I feel like this is very controversial, especially the author, for a lot of people, because a lot of people have a lot to say about this author. I generally don't know why. I never got to see like what was the reason, what the author said or did, but this book was honestly the reason I went back into reading. I really enjoyed this book and I finished it in one sitting, and I've talked about it before, and that is It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover. I have to say I was very disappointed by the second book, which is It Starts With Us. It just like continues off of where this book ended, and I honestly have to say I'm very disappointed by this book, the second book. I gave this one 5 stars. I really enjoyed this book, and I feel like it covered a lot of important topics such as like domestic violence and kind of breaking generational trauma and all of that. I feel like this would be a very controversial topic, but I have to say this was a very popular book when it came out, so I think a lot of people would give this 5 stars. I think it's just that the author they're not very fond of, I guess, but I gave this one 5 stars. A Good Girl's Guide to Murder by Holly Jackson. I absolutely love this series so much. I gave this series overall a 5 stars. The last book got a 4 stars for me, while the first 2 got 5 stars. I still very much love this book. I love this series. This is such a good series, and I just recommended this series to a friend of mine. She came to me asking for book recommendations on like crime and mystery and all that, and I have to say I love when people come to me for book recommendations. It makes me so excited because I'm slowly seeing my friends get into reading, and I love that they come to me for recommendations. I feel like that's so cool. So this is definitely a series I recommend if you're looking for something like that. If you're looking for crime, mystery, true crime, like there's literally a true crime podcast in this book. The character creates a true crime podcast, so if you're into that sort of thing, this series is for you. So yeah, this is the series I gave 5 stars overall. Another book I gave 5 stars. I actually had this book for a very long time. I think I've had this since 10th grade, and a friend gave this book to me, and because we were doing like a sort of secret Santa thing at school, like in class, and she had me and she got me a book, and I had never heard of this book or this author before, and I read it when she first gave it to me, and then I reread it this year. I saw it on my shelf and I kind of forgot that I had this book, so I reread it again, and I honestly really enjoyed this book. So for those who don't know what this book is about, it basically talks about 2 sisters. One of them is called Chloe and one of them is Ivy. Ivy is Chloe's older sister, and Ivy is on the spectrum. She's autistic, and she kind of just her life really just consists of home and her special needs class, trying to navigate like relationships and friendships and like social lives, and kind of getting to know someone who would have things in common with Ivy. And she introduces her to a boy from her special needs class, and in that Chloe meets the boy's brother, and they kind of create this group, and they're always like going out together, and Chloe and the brother kind of start to get closer and bonding over helping their siblings. Another book that I really enjoyed, and I've never read a book like this before, but I really enjoyed it, and I'm glad that I reread it this year, that I kind of revisited the story, and I thought it was very nice and cool, that it was very cool. So now that I'm done with all the physical books that I've rated 5 stars, I am going to move on to the digital books that I've read. I read all of them on my iPad, and right now my iPad's dead, so if you see me looking like this, it's because my laptop, I have my Goodreads open on my laptop so I can keep track of all the books that I'm talking about. And the first book I will be talking about is Ugly Love by Colleen Hoover. I gave this book a 5 stars. Again, could be a controversial opinion, but I've seen like a lot of people be like, oh no, it wasn't good, and then there's some people that love this book, and I have to say the plot twist in this book had me in tears. Like when I realized the story behind the cover, I was in tears. I was crying so hard with this book. That's the one thing Colleen Hoover can do. She can make me cry, and she always like there's always this some sort of like traumatic plot line that just makes me burst into tears, and Ugly Love did that for me. Next book is Daisy Jones and the Six. I love this book so much, and I'm equally obsessed with the series, and the fact that the series got nominated for a Grammy, the soundtrack got nominated for a Grammy, makes me so happy. And I got my Spotify Wrapped, and turns out that Daisy Jones and the Six is one of my top artists for this year, and that tells you a lot. The fact that it's not even, it's a fictional band, but the music was so good from the series, and I was listening to it all year, it tells you something. And the fact that it's one of my top artists tells you so. I think it was my second top artist. I think it was the second. I'll put my Spotify Wrapped here and I'll show you. I was kind of surprised by my Spotify Wrapped, to be honest. Like, it had artists on there that I haven't really listened to a lot this year, but for some reason it caught one of them as one of my top artists, and it's just right here. But yeah, I love Daisy Jones and the Six, and I know that there's a second season in the works, and I cannot wait to see what they're gonna do with it, because they covered the whole book in the first season. So I can't wait to see what they're gonna do with the second one. I really hope that the second one goes through because I'm so excited for it. Next series that I rated 5 stars was the Twisted series. I am obsessed with the series. Anything by Anna Huang is honestly just amazing. I love the series so much. I gave the first 2 and 4th book 5 stars, and I gave Twisted Hate 4 stars. I'm sorry, but Josh, I just can't. Josh pissed me off in this series so much. My favorite would have to be Reese. I don't know why a lot of people were confused by how to say his name. A lot of people were saying his name was Rice. Why would his name be Rice? It's Reese. It's so obviously Reese. It would go Reese, Alex, Christian, and then Josh. That's my rating of the Twisted Men. And then for the girls, I would have to say either Bridget or Ava go first. Actually, Ava, Bridget, Stella, Jules. I love Jules. I love Jules more than I love Josh, but that's just like, I love Stella more, I guess you can say. She's just like such a sweetheart and I love her, but that's like my rating of the men and my rating of the women. And the next series I gave 5 stars was the Knock 'Em Out series by Lucy Score. I read this series last month. It was in my November reads. I love this series so much. I love a small town romance sort of trope. I love it so much. It was so cute, and I have to say Things We Never Got Over is probably one of my favorite reads of this entire year. But I love the entire series so much. They're just so precious. Like Knox is just, he's so cute, and I just love him so much, and I love this entire series. I love the whole plot of like the twins thing. I have to say, when I was first reading Things We Never Got Over, when she walks into the cafe and she sees a picture of her sister, like, oh, it was a picture of her, she was describing it as a picture of her looking like a mess, and then she was like kind of confused why, because the picture was saying that she's banned from the cafe, and when she was walking in, she saw the picture saying that it was her being banned, like saying it was a picture of her. So in my head, when I first read it, there was no twin, there was nothing. And then she was like, when she was getting kicked out, she was like surprised, like, why are they treating me like this? I'm like, am I reading this right? I had to like reread it twice until like in my head I was like, oh, maybe she has a twin. I don't know why that hit me so late, but I was like, I was confused by the first like couple of lines on the first page. I feel like from the entire series, the first 2 books are my favorites, but the first one is my ultimate favorite. But yeah, I very much enjoyed this series. So the next books I gave 5 stars were King of Wrath and King of Pride from the Kings of Sin series, and I already know that King of Greed is going to be 5 stars. Like, I don't think anything by Anna Huang would disappoint me. I don't think anything she writes would disappoint. Like, I have my all-star authors of this year, and she's definitely number 1. She's been my favorite author this entire year, and I just love everything that she writes. So yeah, I am a huge fan of the Kings of Sin series so far, and I can't wait to see what the rest are gonna look like. But yeah, 5 stars already for the series. Then we have Icebreaker. This is like such a, oh my god, I love this book so much, and it started my hockey romance obsession. I love this book so much, and I love this series so much. Actually, not just Icebreaker, Maple Hills altogether gets 5 stars from me, and I can't wait to read Daydream. I've been looking for it everywhere and I can't find it, but I can't wait to read it, and I'm so excited for it. But yeah, Icebreaker and Wildfire, since we're talking about Maple Hills, let's just put these together. Icebreaker, Wildfire, definite 5 stars, and I can guarantee that Daydream would be 5 stars for me as well, because I read the tropes and I'm already obsessed. The next book is Our Scorching Summer, which is from the Perks and Benefits series, but I haven't read the first book. I don't think I have. I haven't read the first book, but actually I don't even know what the first book is called, because all I've heard from the series is this book, and this was the book of the summer for me. It was my favorite book of the entire summer, and it got me out of a reading slump, I have to say. I was in a huge slump this year. after reading Normal People. And this book got me out of it. I love this book so much, and I actually need to look for the first book and read it because that just makes sense. Next book that got 5 stars for me was Iced Out from the Heston U Hotshots series, and this is the first book in the series. I'm not gonna lie, I don't know what the other books are, but this book got a 5 stars for me. Again, hockey romance. Anything hockey romance gets a 5 stars for me, guarantee. The next series that got 5 stars for me was the Windy City series by Liz Holmford. Oh my god. Caught Up, so The Right Move, Caught Up, and Mile High. Mile High actually, I will say, got 4 stars for me, so it's not included in this, but the series overall did get a 5 stars for me. Caught Up and The Right Move are one of my favorite books of this entire year, and I love this series so much. And I know that there is a 4th one coming, and I'm so excited for that one. I don't know if she announced what the 4th one is called. I don't remember. I think it was, because I think it was like there was like a little preview after Caught Up, like in the book, but I don't remember. If I did, I'll put the name here. But yeah, I love this series so much. And Caught Up, oh my god, I just like the whole trope of Caught Up was so amazing for me. And The Right Move is so for those who don't know, Mile High is a hockey romance. Actually, oh my god, so probably Mile High is a hockey romance, and it got a 4 stars for me. Probably the only hockey romance that's gotten 4 stars for me. So there's Mile High, that's a hockey romance. The Right Move is a basketball romance, and Caught Up is a baseball romance. So these are great ones. And the 4th, I'm pretty sure, is gonna be another baseball one. But like the female main character's trope, like job is gonna be a different thing. She's the physiotherapist of the team. So it's like gonna be like a workplace romance thing, I think. And the next book that got a 5 stars for me is Love Redesigned. Oh my goodness, I love this series. I love this book so much. The first book in the Lakefront Billionaire series. Lauren Asher is also like one of my all-stars of authors this year. It was such a great book, and I have to say I was thinking about it for days after I read it. I finished it like a couple of days ago, and I think about it every day, and I still see TikToks of it every day, and I just love this series. I keep saying series. I love this book so much. So that is all the books I've rated 5 stars. Let me know if you guys agree or disagree on some of them, and if you haven't read, or if you've read some of them. I'm pretty sure you've read most of them. Those are pretty popular books, but if you haven't, let me know. So if you guys like this video, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!